In this video, we're going to discuss how we are going to format and install the Linux operating system into a Raspberry Pi SD card. Basically, what we need to do is just remember that a Raspberry Pi does not have a hard disk on it. So all its operating system is placed under the removable SD card, and it's a micro SD card. And what we need to do is just buy a SD card. Needs to be bigger than 8 gigabytes in terms of memory, cannot be smaller. I have at home a couple very, very old SD cards that I try to use, and they are 4 gigabytes, and right on the top, when you try to install, it complains that there is no enough space. So at least 8 gigabytes of available space there. And then we are going to install the Linux operating system version on that, any given one. And I'm going to use the default one as you're going to see soon. To do that, we are going to format and install the Linux operating system. What we're going to do, is we're going to use the Raspberry Pi Imager, and it's available to download. And I put the site right here. But even if you don't remember the site, you just type this Raspberry Pi Imager and download in your browser, and you should be able to see it, and just get the first link. So I just put here a Raspberry Pi Imager download, and the first option that came here is from the raspberrypi.com, and you just click there in the link. Let me increase the font size a little bit. All right, and it realized that I'm from Windows, so you see that the highlighted version here to the link to download is for Windows. If you have Macintosh or Linux, you should have this highlighted in differently. But in my case, it's download for Windows, so that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to place somewhere. So I'm here in downloads. I'm going to place it, and it's going to take a while. It was very quick, by the way. So click here so that you have the image there. And in my case, I just run it. So I'm going to run this application. Okay, you accept that you're allowing the application. Welcome to Raspberry Pi Image setup. And it's installing. Raspberry has been installed in your computer. So you see, it was a very quick thing to do, and you have it right there. Now let's get this guy. So oh, it's running already. So right here. So here you have the Raspberry Pi Imager. In this case, it's version 1.8.3. Doesn't matter which one you get it. So you need to set up these things here, and that's what we are going to discuss right now. So Raspberry Pi device. So choose the device. I know by fact that my device is a Raspberry Pi 3. You might have some other one, so just pick it up there. We are going to see when we are in the Raspberry Pi itself, when we put the SD card there, there is a way of checking, even if you don't know. One way is just looking at the board. Normally the board has information, what model you have there. But another way of doing is just in the terminal window, in the Linux terminal window, you just type a command, and you're going to get the information about your board, including what model it is. But I know by fact it is a Raspberry Pi 3. So I click here. So I chose the device. Now the operating system is, you can choose whatever you want. I'm going to use this one here. That is the Raspberry Pi OS Legacy 32 bits. And I think, and it says recommended. Based on the Raspberry Pi that I have, they suggest to put this one here. So I'm going to use that one. If you have Raspberry 4, for example, it probably is a different option here. But in my case, that's the option that I'm going to use. Choose the storage. Oh, I didn't put the Raspberry Pi, so let me put it here. So what you need to do is For the storage, what you need to do is, I have a slide here, so let me show you. Let me put this for slideshow from the current. So what you have is your Raspberry Pi runs with a micro SD card that is here. So I show this slot where you're going to put it. After you format and put the Linux operating system, you're going to inject here. And normally what you're going to do is most of the computers, though they don't have this connection or adapter in a connection in the laptop itself. So normally what happens is you need to buy like a adapter. So from a micro SD card, you place this, you insert this one in a slot here, and then you put this either in your computer, or if your computer does not have a slot for a regular SD card, so what you can do, you can buy like another adapter that you're going to put the micro SD into the SD adapter, and the SD adapter you're going to put in this other adapter that is a USB, and then you connect from there. That's what I'm doing. I have this kind of old system here, and that's worked perfect for me. So every time I take it, the SD card from the Raspberry, put it here if I need to reformat again, and then put this SD card here, and I put the USB in my computer. That's what I do. When you plug it in, what is going to happen is in your computer, you're going to see, for example, here I have a D, it says boot D, could be anything here, but it's, in this case, it's showing up as a D drive and as a boot. That's what I have here in my Windows Explorer. Anyhow, so going through all those things, now I can go to storage, and you see here now you have the mass storage device USB drive and 8 gigabytes, and it's in drive D. Here I wanted to emphasize something, be very careful. Sometimes you have external hard disk that you have connected to your computer, for example, via USB or something like that. And so there might be other options here, and you need to be very careful, because if you choose the wrong device, you are going to format the wrong device, and you might be losing a lot of data. So just be careful. In this case, I have just one option. So this is the option that I want to do. That there is no problem at all. It is correct. So say next. Now here, I want to do some customization, and because I want to do a headless Raspberry Pi. What does it mean by that? Is probably you have heard that before. It's I want to run my Raspberry Pi without a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse for the connected to Raspberry Pi directly. So the Raspberry Pi, there'll be just a power up, but all these peripherals I'm going to use from my laptop. So my laptop is going to have the mouse, is going to have the keyboard and the display, and that's be connected to Raspberry Pi. So I don't need to have a second set of all these peripherals. So it's how do you do that? So you need to edit the settings. So I'm going to put here. There are 3 tabs here. Let's start with the general tab first. So host name, you can put whatever you want. I'm going to put Raspberry Pi.local. This is kind of the default one. Now I'm going to set up a username and password. When we are going to connect it remotely to this Raspberry Pi, we will need that. So I put like a Paulo, and I put a password there. And the same thing is, in my case, I want to connect to the Wi-Fi, right? So the wireless LAN I put here. So this is one of my routers, and the router password, you need to put it there. I read, I don't know if it's different or not, because some sites in the internet, they are old. So the information that I am giving to you now might be old information, and might not be completely right. But I read that for Raspberry Pi 3, I need to use 2.4 connection. I cannot use 5.0. So I have two in my router, but I need to use the 2.4. So I'm using here the 2.4. So just be careful here when you have your connection. If you have the option between 5.0 and 2.4, you can try to use 5.0 and see what happens. But I put 2.4 and it worked perfectly. So I'm going to keep it like that way. And later on, I'm not even going to use the Wi-Fi anymore. So this is just for checking a few things. And later on, I'm going to remove the Wi-Fi option and I'm going to connect it in a different way as you see. Okay, so again, other things that you can put it here is the country. So I put the US, the American New York, and the keyboard is US keyboard. And what else? So here I'm going to go to services and then use password authentication. That's what I'm going to check, and options. And here I think everything is fine. So let's see if there is anything else that I need to do. I don't think so. I think that's it. So save. Say yes. And it's going to erase everything. You say continue yes. One thing that I was trying to check is I remember seeing here that you can define like enable SSH and things like that. I remember seeing that, so I don't know why I'm not seeing anymore here. Enable sound, service options. I remember seeing that. I don't know why I'm not seeing here now, but that's okay. So let's leave it like that. So we might need to do some other things there. Would you like to apply the OS customization settings? Yes. Existing data will be erased, as we know. Say yes. Continuing, and it's going to take a while. So it's going to take like depending on the SD card that you have, it might take longer or faster. Mine, I know that it's take a long, like 2-3 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video until it gets written and verified. Okay, after many minutes, more than 10 minutes in my case, finally it was written and has been verified. And then you have here write successfully, and just press continue. So what you can do now is just go to your SD drive, and it already ejected for me, so it's not even here. So you just get the adapter, the USB adapter out of your computer, get the micro SD card from the adapter, and then stick on the Raspberry Pi. And in the next video, we are going to see some setting up for this Raspberry Pi. Okay, thank you very much.